So, who are they? What are they doing? And roughly what year is it? Dave doesn't get to answer. Okay, what's going on? What is a good one-word description for what they're doing? They are programming. These are a couple of the women who were the first programmers of the ENIAC. So in terms of when is this? This is roughly 1944, 45 is when this picture would have been taken. As you may recall, the ENIAC was essentially an experimental project. It was the first all-electronic computer built in the US. It was built at the University of Pennsylvania. It was part of a defense contract. It was supposed to help calculate ballistic trajectories for things. So there's an invariant here, like the military paying to invent things to help kill more people for less money. And although it was not ready in time to actually help with the war, a lot of the ideas in it really underpinned everything that came afterward. So at the time, the notion of programming was you were essentially connecting patch cables so that you could route data from one computation unit to another computation unit. So somebody would just sort of give you this complicated equation, and the programmer would have to figure out essentially how to pipeline it. Right? They would have to figure out what are the different, if you think of sort of each one of these things as a functional unit, what different types of operations can each functional unit do? And once it does it, how do you get the data into another functional unit to do the next step? So you basically have to build up this graph that's basically like pipelining. That's what programming was. And then once you have that graph, you would connect the physical cables to actually realize the computation in hardware. And it could take like days to do this, but the idea is you're going to run the computation a lot, so it was worth it. If you're interested in learning more about this, and I suggest you should go to topsecretrosies.com. There's a great documentary about this that I was able to get from Netflix. I assume it's still on Netflix streaming. But it's basically the last couple of women who were in this original group. I think there might be one who's still alive, but most of them died in the last 4 or 5 years. And they did some really great interviews with them right before they died, because this was top secret. They weren't allowed to tell anybody what they were working on. So, like a year or two before they died, they were finally able to tell their grandkids, this is what grandma did during the war. It's a really, really good documentary. I highly recommend it. And a topic of total frivolity, since we have 2 minutes left. If you haven't seen this, this combines.
Google provides services of a wide range of devices, from desktop computers to mobile devices, including tablets. But we've long neglected one of the most popular computer systems ever sold. And I'm here to introduce Google Maps 8-bit version as a first product for NES.
Well, first we developed a new type of cartridge with dial-up technology, allowing the NES to connect to Google. We run more than 100,000 servers to overcome the NES's technical limitations. 8-bit maps are generated by Google's cloud in real time. It's really easy to use. Insert the cartridge, connect the cable, then turn the power on. Blow on the cartridge to fix bugs, and you're automatically connected to the internet. Let's start from the title screen. Select Search and enter a name or place, just like the regular Google Maps. You can of course search a route to your destination. You can also search with your voice using the Pad 2 mic.
Google Maps 8-bit version will soon be available in Google Store. But for now, you can play the trial version by going to Google Maps and click the Quest button on the top right corner.
So when they did this a couple of years ago, for a couple of weeks after April Fool's Day, which is when this came out, they really had this implemented online, and it was the coolest thing ever. It looked just like he said.